Welcome to the Happier Life Project, the official podcast from the award-winning mental health and wellness app, My Possible Self. Hosted by broadcaster and journalist Gabby Sanderson.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. We know we should exercise. We know we need to eat well. We know why sleep matters. And we know we need to hydrate. But one thing we perhaps don't fully appreciate is just how much a lack of movement is affecting our health, our bodies, and ultimately our quality of life. For most of human history, movement wasn't something we had to schedule in. It was built into our everyday lives. We walked, we squatted, we lifted, we climbed, we carried things, we chased, we played. We moved in all sorts of different ways because life required it. But modern life has changed that completely. Many of us now spend the majority of our day sitting at desks, in cars, on sofas, looking at our screens, and our bodies are adapting to a world that they were never designed for. And the consequences are becoming harder and harder to ignore. We're seeing more pain, more stiffness, more postural issues, and people losing basic movement capabilities earlier in their life. There are children now who struggle with movements that would have once been considered completely natural. Things like sitting comfortably on the floor, squatting, or even being flexible enough to touch their toes. This conversation isn't just about moving more. It's about moving well. Because our bodies are incredibly adaptable. The problem is, they adapt to what we repeatedly ask them to do. So if we spend years in the same positions, repeating the same patterns, our bodies become very good at those patterns, even when they're not serving us. My guest today is Dr. Cuan Wayne Coetzee, a family and sports chiropractor, best-selling author of the book Why Movement is Medicine, and the founder of MoveMed. A former national triathlete, award-winning researcher, and team chiropractor for England at the 2014 Indoor Cricket World Cup, Dr. Cuan has spent his career exploring how we can better look after our bodies through movement. In our conversation, Dr. Cuan breaks down the 4 pillars of movement. He explains what excess sitting and screen use is doing to our bodies, and why retraining our movement patterns is so important. We discuss the powerful connection between movement and mental health, why achievable consistency is far more important than perfection, and how we can build strength, mobility, balance, and resilience at any age. Dr. Cuan also explains why back pain, postural problems, and headaches have become so widespread across all age groups, the role of stress and inflammation as a double-edged sword, and how small, sustainable changes can help us protect our bodies for the future. Because movement isn't just about fitness, it's about independence. It's about being able to play with your children and grandchildren, travel, explore, and keep doing the things that bring you joy as you get older. And perhaps the biggest question is, what happens when we stop seeing movement as something we do for our bodies and start seeing it as something our bodies need in order to thrive and survive? And with that in mind, ready to find a healthier, happier you? Let's get started. Dr. Cuan, welcome to the Happier Life Project. Delighted to be talking to you today. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. And you? I'm in a very hot and sunny UK for a change, which is great.
Really, it's extremely hot where I am too. I'm in Lisbon. I've just finished reading your book, and I have to say, I've been doing the podcast for at least 4 years, probably closer to 5, and I've never told everybody to read a book because, not everything applies to everyone a lot of the time. But this actually does. Everybody should read your book. Something I'm very passionate about is movement, and something I get very frustrated with is modern life, and that I don't get to move because of my job as much as I would like to. So I'm always trying to find that like happy medium, because for me, of course, movement, and that doesn't mean necessarily like caning it, exercising, but just even going for a walk and stuff, that just does more for my mental health than anything else. Let's get to the heart of the story. Why do you love movement so much, and why do you think it should be the number one prescriber?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big question. I literally wrote a book about it, but like every time someone asks me the question, I have to really just think about it again, because I think movement means different things to me at different stages of my life. Mm-hmm. So when I was writing the book, I was basically my first year in the UK. I was single at the time. I had free time, and COVID for me personally, I don't like to admit this, was just a very fruitful time. Like in the UK, there was a furlough system, giving people like money for like nothing, but it allowed me this freedom to write a book. Yeah. So at the time, movement was pretty much what you read in the book last night. But at the moment now, for instance, we've got a 15-month-old. Yeah. So movement is my mental health right now. I still manage to do the bare minimum. But yeah, like reality is that in this current stage of my life is what keeps the like lights on, I've just finished a busy morning seeing patients in the clinic, and if I wasn't doing movement, I wouldn't be able to do my job physically, but also mentally. So yeah, I'm also busy writing my next book, by the way. We'll have to do episode 2 when the next one's out.
Yeah, definitely.
The next book is actually potentially going to be called When Movement Becomes Medicine. And it's going to be more of a practical manual for people who've had chronic pain, or with people who want to just move better into older age. So yeah, now I've got all these fresh answers to you as to why movement is medicine. But yeah, I think it means something different to everyone at whatever stage of life they're in.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, could you talk to me about something that you kind of go back to in the book, is this kind of anchor of helping people get back to how they're supposed to move, and actually like when they come in with whatever they come in to see you for, it's because they're not moving the way our bodies are supposed to actually move. And again, this goes back to, I think, the modern world that we live in right now.
100%. So the term neural re-education is just our protocol that we've called it. It's the assisted relearning of safer, better movement. So as kids, most people will be able to obviously move as they like want to, but as you get older, you'll become really good at sort of 5 to 10 movements. It might be getting in the car, getting out the car, sitting on the couch, sitting at your office desk, picking up your child, and maybe doing a few skills. So you become really good at that, and your capacity for those things is really good. But then life happens just outside that capacity sometimes. And as soon as you move just outside your brain's safe zone, that's a trauma to the body, or to the actual brain, obviously. And that is essential to stimulate new movement and change, but too much of it causes an overuse injury. Okay. And then often the brain will do this thing where it tries to protect you. So often we'll see people in clinic who have spasm or like guarding, and that's where the brain has actually created this area of protection because the body's overdone something.
Okay. So what's the most common thing people tend to come in to see you for that is a direct product of the way we live?
So lower back pain is exceptionally common. I think the last I checked, these statistics were 8 out of 10 people in their life would experience back pain. I have. Have you?
Yeah.
So our little research project here is 100%, you know. But low back pain is very common. And a major factor for everyone is the amount of time that we sit.
Yeah.
So right now, you and I are both sitting.
Yeah.
So our hips are flexed in front of us. And if you do this a lot, you become really strong in that position. But then when you stand up, you aren't walking bent over. There are muscles doing work, keeping you upright and normal. So that's a common mechanism that we have to correct with most people that we see. So we teach them how to do a few posture resets, maybe some of the movement snacks that you've seen on my social media, but we just try and break the habit. So to answer your question, lower back pain is a big one, and probably repetitive sitting is a big factor for that.
What about hunching over, the use of devices like our screens and stuff? Is that another one?
For sure. And especially now as a parent, I'm going to definitely blame my child's posture on their phone one day. But, you know, for a long time, people have been sitting. We all look at our plates of food. So yes, the screen time and the phone is just extra sitting and sort of leaning forward. People have been reading the newspaper, reading books forever.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think now there is just this extra 10-20%
Okay.
of repetitive head forward, shoulders forward.
Yeah.
And that's probably the actual killer.
Okay. And what happens in the long term with too much of that then? And how do we try and maybe not correct it, but at least balance it a little bit?
So yes, if you just look at the shoulders, if they're repetitively forward,
Yeah.
the big muscles are the pecs in the front, pec minor, the anterior deltoid. They can actually kind of shorten and strengthen. But then what happens is the opposite muscles are always having to do the equal work. There is a principle in life, but also in the body, called reciprocal inhibition. So everything that you do in life has an equal opposite somewhere else.
Okay.
So if you have these rounded, short, strong pecs,
Yeah.
you're going to have equally as tight traps.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
your traps are those tight muscles in the neck.
Yeah.
So yes, we see probably the second most common thing we see is neck pain and headaches.
Yeah.
And the first thing we give those patients in general, if they are wanting to fix their posture, would be a big doorway stretch where you put your hands on a door frame and lean forward. It's just like a nice movement snack to get the shoulders back, get the head back into neutral. And with practicing that movement over and over and over again, your body can eventually learn a better natural posture.
Yeah. I saw the picture of that in the book. See,
Correct.
I did read it.
And I mean, those images were from 10 years ago, and
Right.
they just don't change.
Yeah.
Old school's the best school. What's happening with, we said earlier about how now currently wellness and movement is very popular these days. It's always been popular, actually. It's just that people were focused on different things. With the popularity of health comes all these like weird niches, you know.
Yeah.
But we try to get people back to the basics.
Yeah.
We've got 4 movement pillars we can discuss later.
Okay.
And we've got 5 pillars for a healthy brain. And if you go back to those basics, everything else is just noise.
Well, something that I thought, again, reading your book and looking at some of your material online, was like, it's not just about, yes, we need to move, but it's moving well. And I'm in the middle of my 3rd yoga teacher training, so anatomy to some degree is covered. And what I've certainly learned from this particular course I'm on now is that, like, even something that if you looked at might look like, oh, they're just standing, we call it Tadasana or whatever. Actually, if you activate the right muscles, that can be a strong position to put your body in, but we don't. So it's like, yeah, I can see you nodding because obviously I don't need to tell you this, but like, I'd like us to get this across so it lands to people listening that, like, yes, movement is important, but moving well and moving the right way is important. And I think
moving safely, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that does often get forgotten, especially online, and it's not always explaining about what happens if you do it wrong, or how it feels if you do it wrong, and also how you should be doing it right and what it should feel like. Would you agree with that?
Definitely agree, yes. There's also something that happens. Like, I've been doing this, I've been seeing patients in clinic for 15 years now. And everyone is on a spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So people who are doing no movement at all, for them, the important thing is just starting.
Yeah, fair.
So they don't have to worry about the stressful, perfect pose that you're speaking about now. But once you are moving more, then definitely these specifics count. But if I'm trying to motivate the average person in my room who does no movement whatsoever, if I try and critique their downward dog, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? You're a quack.
Yeah. Fair.
So,
yeah.
So yes, so you are spot on, right? But in my life, in my clinic, a lot of people are just needing to start. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
First step.
That's totally fair. You use this seesaw analogy in the book. Would you mind talking a little bit about it here?
Definitely. So the seesaw's in the second book too.
Ah, there you go.
The seesaw is a very simple thing to understand, right? We've all been on a seesaw, and obviously, if you're equal weighted with someone else, you'll be balancing in the center. But even if you are on your own, and if you walk up the center of the seesaw, you get to the center line, and then you can obviously balance on there. And if you go just off to one side, the seesaw tilts the other way. And if you go the other way, it tilts the other way. And that tilt is just like a nice way to think about the healing environment in your body. So either your seesaw is always tilted in the way of healing and promoting recovery, or it's in the other way of promoting overuse and inflammation and cortisol, etc. So we know there are just big, broad things that will tilt the seesaws in different way. On the one side, you've got excess inflammation and excess repetitive movement, repetitive strains. So we'll class those as stresses.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the seesaw, things that will tilt it in your favor are those 4 movement pillars that we just mentioned that there's 4 earlier.
Yeah.
But there are 5 pillars of a healthy brain and healthy body. And those we summarize as LENDS. It's the lens principles. These are the 5 things that lends to your health.
Okay. Yeah.
So L is love. So that speaks into social interactions, relationships. You have to fix the relationships in your life that you need to, but even just having companions, having friends, having community is essential.
Yeah.
If we were speaking about this to patients 5 years ago, again, they'd be like, you're a weirdo. But now it's just completely accepted, you know?
Yeah.
So it is great that it's all accepted stuff now. Now we just need to hone in on the basics. So L is love, E is exercise, N is newness and novelty. We can speak about that later, and like what that means. D is diet, so what you put in, but also what you don't put into your mouth. That's an important one sometimes.
I've got some notes to ask you about that as well in a bit. Yeah.
And then S is sleep.
Yeah.
So those are the big 5 pillars. I try not get into any of the nitty gritty stuff with patients until we are ticking off the 5 big boxes first. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you always been really passionate about movement?
Yeah, definitely. So growing up, it was always sport-related movement. And yeah, my brother's an orthopedic surgeon. We both did sport together. Yeah, there's a few stories in the book about how movement just... I don't know if you read the part about my stutter and my stammer in the book.
Oh, yes, I did, yes.
So I think I hid it pretty well, but
extremely well.
But movement is how you can potentially get over and control it. It's the breathing movement, it's your diaphragm movement, it's the simple diagram of going up the hill, breathing, and then speaking as you're breathing out.
Okay.
Like again, going back to the basics of breath work and speech.
Yeah, love breath work. Love.
So yes, movement's always been like part of a life, probably too much movement. But as I'm getting older now and as I'm a dad, yeah, I can see the importance of all 4 pillars together.
Yeah.
Not just running fast marathons, but being able to do everything I want with my daughter.
I have to say as well, you are a fantastic writer, and I'm not just gushing for the sake of it. I really did enjoy. I think that's why I was in, because sometimes, with books, you sort of flick through or whatever, but you have a way with words as well as with the body.
I had 2 editors. They were really good.
Oh, he's humble too. Everything that's on our app is clinically certified. So we do try to be careful with who we chat to and what we talk about. But then we're also up against like Google and AI and just the World Wide Web. So how does just like people's, I guess, mindset when it comes to their health? And I feel like with a lot of people, there's this kind of, if they weren't naturally sporty as a kid or whatever, there can be this kind of resistance to it. I don't know if it's like a fear or it just feels too much or... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious from your side of things, like what the landscape looks like for you.
Yes, and I think, again, like the word spectrum, everyone has a different upbringing and a different perception of what movement is.
Right.
So for me, coming from South Africa, movement was life, As soon as you could, you went outside and our mom would have to fight us to come inside.
Yeah.
So it was just how life was. But compared to my wife's upbringing, she played indoors, She was a proper girl, had dolls, like painted her dad's fingernails, and just never got into recreational movement ever. Did drama and PE at school, but that was it. Mm-hmm. So when she met me, I was like, "What exercise do you do?" She's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Why?" And she never really understood the benefits of why movement is good for you.
Yeah,
like to her, it was just what you did at PE at school.
So what would you say then to anybody listening now that thinks the same way your wife did?
Yeah, so it's all fun and games when you're young and your body's naturally able to just get through stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's naturally flexible. It's naturally recovering pretty well.
Yeah, you don't think about being in discomfort.
But you won't get away with that when you get older.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah, and the motivation is to get the biggest capacity that you can. So you want to have a movement capacity that allows you to bend when you need to bend, lift something heavy when you need to lift something heavy, but also be able to balance when you're walking on the beach. And if nature calls, be able to get your heart rate up for more than 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So like these are just life parameters. So that's the motivation is when you need to be able to move, you need to be able to move. And of course we have this life where right now I could order my dinner with my thumb. So like if I can't move my thumb now, I am dead. But that's not how the body was designed, like the body was designed to find your food, catch your food, hunt it, run away from danger. Often in clinic, we'll give an example to patients, which is extreme, but if you were hiking somewhere and you fell into a square stone hole, and if you had no cell phone signal because it's stone, and if you could only jump up and grab the edge of this hole, can you pull yourself up? And if you can't, you're dead. So obviously that, like, it's an extreme example, like that won't happen in today's day and age, hopefully not. But like, can you do a pull-up? Can you do a squat?
Yeah. You do have a little antidote you do on the train, don't you, with squats?
Yeah.
You like to drop it like it's hot.
I've been called out a few times. I got a rude awakening when I moved to London.
Well, you do see all sorts on the tube, don't you?
You do. We were speaking about health anxiety, though. So Dr. Google was the old joke, people used to Google their symptoms. Now it's Dr.
AI, right? ChatGPT.
Yeah, Dr. GPT. And I love it when people do take an interest in Googling their symptoms. It means that they actually care. But there's a very slippery slope. I deal with a lot of back pain, as you said, disc injuries, slip discs, which is just a phrase for a bulging disc. Very common. Common in people with no pain and common in people with back pain. So when you Google a disc injury, it's negative. You need surgery. It's life-changing rough stuff, But in reality, they mostly come right on their own. In reality, if we educate someone that most people have these by the age of 40 anyway, it just makes a negative thing a positive thing, actually.
Right.
So instead of fear-mongering patients to come back and see us, you want to try and motivate them that they want to see you to look after themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, health anxiety, unfortunately, it gets inflamed with a lot of different practitioner styles out there. We all know those practitioners that might fearmonger someone, like your back is so bad, you must see me a lot of times. Very different to, cool, this is what we're going to work on. We're going to have a few check-ins and we're going to do this thing together. So it's a very different language, very different motivation as to why you want to get the person in front of you better.
Yeah. I think people write themselves off as well, especially when you get to a certain age. They're like, oh, well, this is just age creeping up. And I think that something that I took from your book is very similar to what the theme of this year's World Yoga Day, the United Nations World Yoga Day, was yoga for like healthy aging. And I think that's basically very much in line with what you were talking about in the book. It's, using movement the correct way as a vessel to still be able to do lots if you're lucky enough to live in your 80s, That's, I think, where I'm going.
Correct. So a big focus of my next book is the sort of neurology and the neuroscience side of things.
Oh, I can't wait. When's it coming
out? How much time do you have? We could speak forever on this. But when you look at movement through a neurological lens, movement is the final pathway of a thought.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously, the first movement starts in your brain. Your brain initiates a process that will then fire nerves down your spinal cord to the spinal nerves to the muscle that's going to make the muscle move. So movement is the final pathway, but also movement can be the first. By introducing movement and conscious exercise, we can affect the brain from the bottom up. So you get top-down processing, which is obviously your perceptions and your education and understanding of that movement. So that's the top-down function where movement can be the final pathway. Yeah. From the bottom up, movement and hands-on manual therapy, breath work, things that you do with your physical body can also give the brain a certain stimulus. And then the kicker is that movement is also how those two meet and learn something new going forward.
Wow.
So when we deal with patients in clinic who have chronic pain, for instance, the pain has become the normal loop. So neuroplasticity has happened in a negative way. And now whenever someone thinks about moving or bending their spine, they're already preemptively feeling the pain.
Yeah.
So it's a learned reaction. So when we try and unlearn that, we have to somehow introduce a safe, non-painful bend. And we can do that manually. We could do it by using some hot and cold packs, supplements, diets, all of these things that tilt the seesaw in a certain way. And as soon as we get a few of those little glimpses of neurological hope where like someone's expecting pain and then they almost don't experience pain with a certain movement, that's when dopamine takes over. So you get this prediction error, which is very important for brain learning, is when there is an expected response and you get something different.
Okay. So what's your take on like if it's a bit uncomfortable to move, if it's, I mean, we're not talking like a bad pain or trauma, but if things are, a bit, there's discomfort, is it still okay?
Yes. So pain and discomfort is also a like double-edged sword. What is pain for you is perhaps might be discomfort for me.
Yeah.
And might be nothing for someone else.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to give any blanket recommendations to anyone. Again, because we're all on the spectrum, right? Like we all have different movement capacities, different motivations why we move. But yes, you have to go through some discomfort sometimes. If you have back pain, you probably won't fix it without causing some pain.
Yeah.
But then we have to teach patients what the good pain and the bad pain is. So good pain would be the discomfort. You might have some general stiffness that's okay to exercise and move through. But you might have some pain that's affecting your movement patterns. Perhaps it's not the best thing to exercise on that day.
Okay.
Because sometimes if you're moving through the pain too much, that adds to that negative plasticity. But if you're moving safely through some discomfort, that's helping the positive plasticity. Like, it is just very technical. We can never give a blanket recommendation.
Yeah.
I spend probably an hour a day replying to people on social media.
Yeah, because you've got quite the
right?
following now, haven't you?
I get so many questions like, how many reps should I do? And I'm like, I have no idea. What should I do for my back pain? I have no idea.
Okay.
Without assessing someone and actually giving a safe and ethical recommendation, you can never give a confident answer without assessing someone.
That makes sense. Before I ask you real quickly on the 4 pillars of movement, I'm going to bring up a couple of common, I don't know if they're cliches or common things that we are told. I'm just curious, like, if you agree or disagree. The 10,000 steps a day thing, should we be aiming for that, or is that some trend that somebody said once that's kind of caught on?
So that's a good goal, right? Like, if you're not doing any movement, being able to walk for an hour, you'll probably hit your 10,000 just by doing movement for an hour. It's a good motivational tool, I think.
Okay.
Is the 10,000 the holy grail? Probably not. For some people, it might be less than that. But for some people, you might actually need to do a lot more.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good motivational phrase and a motivational tool.
For those that are less active, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps 10,000 is just the random number. You could just say steps help.
Okay. Yeah. What about taking a rest day?
Yeah, very good. I call them active rest days.
Yeah, because I've seen certain PTs or whatever online will say, like, no, you can still move. Like, you don't just need to lie on the couch all day kind of thing, but just not train, I suppose. Is that similar to what
I'll call it an active rest day, you know? So, like, define rest day, is it lying in bed all day? No. So for me, a active rest day would be, just not doing my normal exercise, but I might still take my daughter for a walk.
Yeah.
So I'll probably get my 10,000 steps, which on paper is exercise, but that's still a rest day for me.
Okay.
Rest day for me might be not seeing patients, not having too many social interactions. I get mega peopled out and I know when I need to recharge.
Yeah.
So for me, a rest day would be a 5-hour cycle.
Okay.
But I'm not speaking to anyone.
Fair.
So rest, I think it depends on the individual.
Yeah.
What rest is to you.
Yeah. I'll go further into the diet thing, but like, it seems that protein is just blowing up even more than it already was. And I'm getting a little bit protein jaded, if I'm honest, from seeing things online. I mean, I know that we need protein, whereas fat in the 1990s used to be the really bad thing. Now it's carbohydrates. So, like, where are you on this?
Yeah. Everyone's individual. Some people thrive on the carbs and they can process it really well. Some people will just pick up body fat straight away. So I think you have to find what works for you individually. But yeah, protein is a big important one. You also have to fact check me, but I think it's 1.8 grams per body weight kg that you want to try and target.
Right.
Which is about is it a gram per pound?
I don't know.
That's to maintain your muscle mass that you've got, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
If your goal, maybe you actually have got too much muscle and you might want to lose a bit for a while, then you would decrease your protein intake.
Okay.
But maybe you want to build for a season of your life, like you're just putting yourself through like a bit of a strength phase. Mm-hmm. You might want to eat some more than that. But as you get older, you also don't want to lose muscle mass. So it's important. And obviously protein is the building blocks for the muscles in general.
Yeah. So then sourcing the protein, because you can buy protein bars, can't you? And obviously there's like the protein shakes and the protein this and the protein that and protein pizza now. Like, does it all apply?
I think it depends. Yeah, it's just such a beast. I actually try and not give too many opinions with like nutrition because it's just such a big topic, you know. Mm-hmm. If you want to have like a few rules for thumb, if you can find it in its most natural way, if you can hunt it, or if you can grow it and in their most natural forms.
Yeah.
The other day I used ChatGPT to just track what I was eating. I've actually never done like a proper calorie counting app or anything like that, but I used ChatGPT and it was very effective. So every meal I had for 2 weeks, I just logged. And the days when I try to hit my protein numbers, that kind of 1.82 grams per body weight kg, the days I hit that number correctly, and the days when I hit enough fiber. Fiber is a key one that will probably be, I think it's already hitting a few popular things in certain circles, but it will probably be the next big one. But if you have enough fiber, you probably won't have enough energy to eat more food in a day.
If you have enough fiber?
If you eat enough fiber and enough protein, you'll be full enough that you won't be hungry anymore.
Okay.
Because the volume of food, if you're getting your fiber from natural sources like fruits and vegetables, it's a lot of fruits and vegetables to hit a real fiber, like a good fiber intake.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you know. And if you're having that over, I mean, I try to do the intermittent fasting, so I'll have 2 meals a day roughly. If I'm eating enough fiber and protein over 2 meals, I can't eat much more. Like you're physically full.
Okay. You're still doing the intermittent fasting then, because you wrote about that in the book. Yeah.
So for me in my lifestyle, that's a bit of a cheat code. I like being fit and active and healthy and lean, and I find not having calories in the morning is just a bit of a cheat for that.
Okay.
So I can still afford to have like a cheat or 2 a day because I'm not having a whole morning of calories.
Yeah, fair enough.
So so there's a few different motivations for that. Once you've trained your body to like do something, I just don't have to stress about food for the morning hours, which is helpful.
Well, so why is it good for, because you mentioned because of the fitness side and the movement side, why is intermittent fasting good in that respect?
Why is it good?
Yeah, is it autophagy? I can never pronounce it quite well.
Yeah, autophagy or autophagy. That's auto is your body is doing it itself, and phagy is it's eating itself. So the big autophagy benefits are seen with extended fasts.
Yeah, right.
So when you go like 1, 2, 3 days.
Oh, okay.
That's when you are like completely depleted and your body's going to be eating something. And the theory and some science goes into that the body's going to only eat the damaged cells and the cells that it doesn't need. Are you getting a big effect with just not eating in the morning? Probably a little bit. But again, it's such a difficult study to do. You know, like it's impossible to take 10,000 humans, put them in cages and feed them, etc. You know, it's just not ethical.
Yeah. Well, if it feels good for you and you know your own body, right, then...
Yeah, correct. So I don't recommend fasting to everyone. I think people who want to try it must try it and just give it a chance. Yeah.
I think it's more... It seems to suit men more than women because of the women's cycle and stuff, from the small amount I do know. But let's go then quickly into the 4 pillars of movement. If you wouldn't mind just kind of a quick overview, and we'll definitely obviously point to your book where people can dig into this stuff. But I think it's really helpful for us to think about, like, again, how we're moving for health versus maybe how we're moving for... Well, I think because of a lot of peer pressure, because we feel like maybe it's a way we want to look, or just because we should, because everybody's telling us we should.
100%.
Yeah.
The 4 movement pillars are a nice educational thing because it like I think everyone will understand it when you explain it properly. So the 4 pillars are strength is number 1. Not in like any order, but strength, endurance, mobility, and balance. So let's say you do your yoga and you only do yoga.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens when you need to lift the heavy fridge at home?
Yeah, I'm not that good at it.
So like as an example, right? Like just like in terms of like a longevity injury risk thing.
Yeah.
So you need to have some strength to also be able to lift heavy when you need to. What happens when you have to, for emergency sake, run for 30 minutes to catch the last bus to get away from Armageddon? Can you run 30 minutes? You know, so some people who aren't doing that probably can't.
Yeah.
And then the other pillar that the traditional yogi might not be doing would be the balance.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of balancing in yoga, though. Because I'm terrible at it.
Hypotheticals.
Okay.
Of course. But yeah, like what happens if you just aren't able to control your foot when you step off a stair and then you roll your ankle and you break your hip?
Yeah.
So that's an example for you. Let's take an example for me. Let's say I only cycled and ran. So my cardiovascular is epic.
Yeah.
What happens when I have to lift a heavy fridge or lift up my light water?
Yeah.
Back explodes. What happens when I have to step off the train edge? My hip breaks. And what happens when I have to put myself into a downward dog? I physically can't.
Right.
So you need to have a bit of all four pillars for longevity movement.
Okay. Yeah, for just to kind of ease people in with that. Because for me, I'll hold my hands up, and I know especially for women, we're supposed to do the strength training. I do have to force myself, and I maybe only do it a couple of times a month even, or maybe a bit more than that now, but like not much. And I just wish I could enjoy it more. I don't think actually once I make myself do it, I'd feel a bit better, but like I prefer to be either doing my yoga or to be doing something like more cardio-y, like kickboxing.
And that probably touches on a theme of just life where we like comfort, but comfort is the killer.
Right. Okay.
So take me for an example. Cardio, running, cycling comes very easy to me.
Yeah.
The strength that I do once a week, I enjoy it. It comes easy to me.
Okay.
I have to force myself to do the yoga with you.
Okay, fair.
So like I don't necessarily love it as a passion, but I'll put myself into the discomfort of doing something that I don't want to do because I know it's good for you.
Okay. And is once a week enough then? Because I think that's also something where I stumble and I'm like, well, is once a week even worth it?
I literally just tweeted basically your doppelganger now. She's a yogi. She's a yogi who looks exactly like you actually. So she literally asked me about an hour ago what I recommend for her.
Okay.
So I recommended strength once a week.
Okay.
And then she was like, not twice a week? I'm like, yeah, twice is fine, but do once a week first for 18 months. Then let's have a chat.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, 2 or 3 sessions a week would be amazing. But what is sustainable? Mm-hmm. And this has become a big theme probably the last 6 months in my life, just now being a dad to a baby. What can you do sustainably forever? And if you can't do it sustainably, then you're just traumatizing yourself.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is now obviously everyone's getting the London Marathon tickets and everyone goes from doing no running to a marathoner in 4 months. And it's amazing. And it's obviously lots of good positiveness. But then most of the people will tick the box off and then they'll never run again. And if you take a step back, what you've done is you just traumatized your body for 4 months. Your brains wanted to learn all these good movements and it's adapting and tissues are healing and adapting and ligaments and muscles. But then if you just stop it, you've actually just caused trauma. So yeah, the advice I gave to your doppelganger earlier was start with once a week.
Okay.
And once it's a consistency, you could always add in a second day. And then obviously if you're not doing any cardio, start with, again, once a week. Stationary bicycles are lovely because they can sit in the corners and they're low impact for most people, safe for most people. And again, you can start with 5 minutes. Like you don't have to do 2 hours.
The 5-10 minutes a day thing, is that, because sometimes that puts me off as well. If I'm in a rush, then I'm like, well, I've only got 10 minutes that I could maybe squeeze something in. Is it going to do that much?
I think it'll do more than do nothing.
Well, also fair. But like, will my body...
that, like 5 and 10 minutes a day, for some people, that's not sustainable. Life is busy, life is stressful. To commit to doing 5 to 10 minutes every day is a lot. I'd rather say commit once a week to 12 to 20 minutes on the bike and start there.
Okay.
Because that's again sustainable. It becomes part of your life habit. The brain eventually craves the good stuff naturally. Like you almost find yourself doing it without forcing yourself.
In general, when we're talking about like mental health, like how have you seen it deteriorate when people aren't moving correctly? And then how have you seen the profound effects that I know you talk about in your book from when you teach people to re-educate and relearn how to move?
So for me personally, it's a direct correlation. Like when I get like man flu, it's serious. But when you're ill and you can't train for a few days, that's probably why I'm just in a bad mood. Is I'm just not doing my normal movement. So for me, it's a direct thing. It's just part of my release, but also how I get some energy. But then, I do treat people with some really bad mental health. Like there is clinical OCDs, anxieties, depressions, bipolars going around. And even for that person, I still will recommend the movement is essential because it fits 2 of the 5 pillars of the healthy brain. And if you've got mental health, your brain isn't well, right? So how are you going to get your brain healthy? It's those 5 principles, You need to have some kind of support system helping you, an accountability relationship, etc. E is exercise. Like your brain needs it from the top down, but the bottom up too. It needs a stimulation, and movement is how your body gets the nerves firing to at least maintain the brain that you've got. Then the D is obviously diet, what you do and don't put in fair, medications. Sleep is essential. But then the N is the novelty and the newness. Experiencing new things is essentially important for anyone's rehab. And movement is such an easy way of doing that. You could walk in a different direction. You could walk in the morning, walk in the evening, walk in the rain.
Okay.
It's all these, such a novelty that's just for walking in a different direction.
Okay. So it doesn't mean you have to take up water polo or something.
No. I mean, that would be a great skill to learn. Like it would push you out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah.
But for the person who's not moving at all,
Yeah.
just getting out the door is massive. And it's a novelty that will be really helpful to your brain.
Going back to the diet thing, when you wrote the book, you talk about clean eating. Are you still as set on that now as you were then? Basically, like your grandparents did?
Definitely. So, but again, the 80-90% rule. I use this example in clinic. If you arrive at a injury, so whether it's like you physically have to lift something or if you are about to get sick or ill or whatever, if you arrive at that incident healthy, your body will be able to handle the outcomes. So if you're 80% eating healthy, you could have an ice cream every day. It's fine, like your body is so able to break down all the bad stuff. But if you're consistently poisoning your body with all the processed high inflammatory foods, what chance does your body have?
Well, speaking of, the comment you made about the animals and the pet food and the tumours that you don't see. Go on, you say it because you can say it better than me.
That's an observation, right?
Yeah.
How many dogs and cats that are just living in people's homes get human cancers? When in South Africa, yes, we hunt ethically, and I've never seen a human cancer in an animal. Like you've seen the odd abscess if they've been poked or something like that, but those animals are living free range off the land. What you can find, what you can essentially grow, and they don't get those types of things. It's just an interesting observation.
Yeah, you do see growths on home pets, definitely, and I'd not linked it to their diet before, but that makes all the sense. It's really hard though, I think, and getting harder to keep our diets clean and basic. Would you disagree with that? Especially
it's exceptionally difficult.
Yeah. If you don't prep in advance and the food prep thing, sometimes you just don't have time.
No, it's very difficult. It is difficult. You just have to pick your poison, as in see which food sources you're willing to spend money on or source properly.
Yeah.
Some of them you just kind of have to also just get on with normal life.
Yeah. What do you think's worse, sitting or sugar?
Sitting.
Sitting. Oh God. Sitting. It's so depressing because that's what most of us have to do.
There isn't anything wrong with sugar. Keeps you alive, right? You need to have carbohydrates. Excessive processed sugar definitely wouldn't be good for you, but fruits and vegetables, they're all going to have baseline sugar content. Yeah,
it's just so annoying that sugar is sneaked into bread and stuff. It's just okay, it might go off quicker, but let us have it without the sugar in. I guess we have to make it ourselves. But
as I said earlier, like with like nutrition and that, it's just such a broad spectrum in every direction. You almost can't give anyone advice. Like you have to find what works for you. Like,
I guess,
like
yeah.
you can have broad rules or like understanding like, yes, too much of that, too much of the trans fats is probably not going to be good for your heart. Too much of the excess sugar is not going to be good for your diabetes. So we all know the broad rules. But I actually learned this the other day. Some of my patients, husband and wife couple, you get those glucose monitors that fit into your arm?
Yeah.
There's a few brands going around. And this husband and wife couple did it for a few weeks, and they basically make you eat a broad spectrum of foods to track what your blood glucose does.
Okay.
Now, blueberries are considered so good, low glycemic for most people. And the husband, when he ate blueberries, no sugar spike whatsoever. The wife, literally a handful of blueberries, and she had a full glycemic spike.
Wow.
So there's just like an example where the same food is different for two people.
Yeah.
Which just makes it much more difficult. What do you recommend to someone? I don't know.
Well, what do you have to say about, real quick, stress and inflammation in the body? Because they were another two themes that came up in the book.
So stress and inflammation will keep you alive and they will save your life. So I think we have to make a big statement first that without stress, you'll be dead. Without inflammation, you'll be dead. It's the chronicity of it. If you have too much consistently over time, that's the problem. What I mean by that is, stress, the fight and flight response will literally save your life. But what happens when you're on your phone all day and you're getting an email and a ping and a text and it's the same fight and flight response that makes you able to run away from a lion, but you're sitting at your screen.
Yeah.
It's that action potential that's building up in your muscles. So from a musculoskeletal point of view, that's where chronic stress is really bad for you, and chronic inflammation too.
It's hard to kind of manage that, isn't it? Those day-to-day stresses.
Of course.
What's the answer to that then?
Having those active rest days, less phone time every now and then, just having some rules where you don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start with small good habits and they build up over time.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I had to learn the other day, I've had to learn many things in my life because you learn by experience, right? And the 14-year-old girl that gets a full-blown anxiety attack from a comment on a social media, that amount of stress to her body and her brain would be equal to me, for instance, losing my mom. Like, let's say my mom passed away. So you can't downplay someone's stress and someone's anxiety or like someone's perception of something.
Right.
And that's an important one to understand, be more compassionate. Like, you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah. All the way through reading the book, I was just like itching to actually get up and move. So it was definitely like making me like, yeah, I want to. But then obviously I was like also reading and couldn't. But I'll definitely go back to it and be recommending it to friends for sure. Can we say when the kind of follow-up book is going to hit the shelves?
I'm very hopeful for later this year.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out.
Definitely next year.
Okay, well, keep us posted. Let's point to your socials real quick. You have got quite the following. On Instagram, you're MoveMed UK. Is that the same on YouTube as well?
Same on YouTube, same on WhatsApp, same on mostly everywhere. Okay. Facebook's the only different one. That's my full professional name.
Okay.
But my website's got all the links on it, and that's movemed.co.uk.
Okay, perfect. I did your proprioception. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, spot on.
I did your 12-minute YouTube video on that, and I found it really helpful. Thank you.
That 12-minute video has done its rounds. That was filmed, I think, during COVID, actually. I have lots of plans to bring out online movement programs for all sorts of different spheres of life and conditions, etc. So if anyone's interested in that, there's a pop-up on the website or in the Instagram or Facebook bio link. There's a sign up there. Okay. If they're interested, they must please just sign up to our newsletter.
Okay, perfect. And you've got your own podcast as well that you've recently launched, right?
very unofficially. I think I'm going to have a few podcast episodes in the future.
Okay.
I just got too many other things happening at the moment.
It sounds like it. Well, thank you very much for finding the time to speak to us today. Super, super helpful. If we could just kind of go back to, I suppose, modern life and why it is setting us up to fail in some of the basics in terms of like eating clean and moving the way we should move. Like if there was one piece of advice that you could give to people now to course correct, what would that be?
Find a movement habit that you enjoy and be consistent with it.
Consistent, like every day?
So let's say you wanted to introduce the strength exercises.
Yeah.
Lift some weights once a week.
Okay.
And see how consistent you can be with that.
Okay. I do have some weights at home and I do the YouTube thing because I find the gym a bit intimidating.
Yeah, of course. And that's common to a lot of people. I think consistency is a good theme.
Okay.
Consistency, it doesn't have to be every hour, every day or every day.
Okay.
It could be once a week.
Yeah.
Depending on the actual stimulus.
What feels consistent to you, for you?
And the consistency compounds over time. In finance, but in life, you can also speak about ROI, return on investment, and consistency.
There you go.
Consistency in the S&P 500, consistency in anything is where you see the big gains long term. So yeah, try not get hyped up. I had to consciously not get hyped up with the London Marathon hype. Just because you can get into such a mode and you can get influenced. I mean, this is why influencers have a job. I think try and not look at the noise and find what makes you internally happy and what you can internally commit to and stick with that.
And sitting is the new smoking.
I wish I made that up, but I read that somewhere. But I do wish I made that up.
Awesome stuff. Thank you again. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time and thank you for your organization's doing too. It's great.
Hello friends, it's Gabby back with you. If you are suffering with your mental health, there is a crisis button on the My Possible Self app, which will signpost you to the correct information for immediate expert advice. Those of you who are listening on one of the podcast platforms, the My Possible Self app is completely free to download. You can access all of the content, so you don't need to worry about it costing you anything. If you found this episode helpful, please do subscribe and leave a review and share it with your friends. And to find and follow us on social media, we are most active on Instagram, and you can find us at My Possible Self. And I've been at Radio Gabby. Until the next one, do take care. Bye for now.